Women actually deserve to be mocked for this. Not all women, obviously. Not women who are mothers, not women who are married, not women who are Trump supporters and the like. But we are talking about a very pernicious faction of women. They may be the majority. They skew younger. And they are radical, shrieking, shrill, whining bitches. And they are ruining this country. And everybody knows it. They are shrieking about rape. They are shrieking about sexual assault. They hate men. And they'll say they don't hate men, but they hate men that are masculine. We know that they're radically left-wing, socialist. They think that we can solve crime with education. They think we can solve poverty by fighting climate change, whatever that means. They are begging for more government. They are trying to suffocate little boys and suffocate men. They're preventing marriages. They're preventing child rearing. They're ugly. They're fat. And like, it just needs to be addressed. And so, yes, it needs to be said. We need to mock these people. They need to be defeated. They were defeated on Tuesday, and that was a blessing for this country. It is a blessing for this country that spurgs like Trump and Elon Musk won. It is a blessing for this nation that autistic incels that only care about rocket ships and science and money and currency. It is a blessing that people like that won.
So that's the disclaimer that I'm going to throw out there. Let me know if my audio is all right. I got weird echoes on my end, but I think the point here needs to be, I'm going to actually dwell on this a little bit more. And I'm going to get into this controversial. It's controversial because people don't follow Nick. They don't know there's some truth to it, but it's a joke. It's a bit. It's a troll. And I can show you how this is going and how it's brilliant. One of the best trolls we've seen in a long time. So I'm going to break it down. But actually, this is a good place to start this disclaimer. This is kind of like disclaimer clip, and a shout out to Classic Grapes.
For this.
You know how hard it would be for me to curate this? Shout out to Classics Grapes. Man, I've kind of followed. It's been, what, a year now, maybe? This dude's got, I'm surprised he doesn't have more than 100. Follow Classics, CLASSICS, Groyp, GROYP on X. Should have over 100,000. So it's very valuable to curate this stuff. Now, how hard it would be, it's not that hard, but it's time consuming for me. So it saves time. This is a great clip. What a great clip from him. I'm bringing it back. This time I'm going to interrupt it.
Women actually deserve to be mocked for this. Not all women, obviously. Not women who are mothers, not women who are married, not women who are Trump supporters and the like. But we are talking about a very pernicious faction of women. They may be the majority. They skew younger. And
you see what he's talking about here? He says, I'm going to do a joke here that I know it's off color, and I know people are going to take it the wrong way. He's very self-aware. He understands how people are going to take stuff, and he uses that to go viral. This tweet he did had 5 words and almost 50 million views right now. What he's saying is, guys, you have to start with the understanding that the messenger here, and I really hate to make it too much about Nick because it's really more about the movement and the importance, and we're going to talk about raising kids. This is pretty deep. It's going to be a one-topic live. But when I'm looking at Nick, you can do whatever you want, but I'm telling you, I know from watching and listening to him, I'm starting from the standpoint that this is a God-fearing, devout Catholic. And then doing the math backwards, how does that person get to a tweet that says, your body, my choice? And then how does it get to somebody wearing, right now I'm wearing my MAGA libertarian. How does what is even a MAGA libertarian? And why would a MAGA libertarian be okay with a Catholic saying your body, my choice? I'm going to try to break that down for you today. Hopium Gardner already got in. $5 super chat says America is rotting from the inside, and an obvious joke from a political streamer is more important than what is happening. There is not, I mean, for me right now, I mean, you got Trump. Trump just won, so we're in the aftermath. So you can argue and say there's more important stuff. I think with the Trump stuff, I'm looking at his personnel decisions right now. What other big topics? I mean, I'm sure there's other big topics out there, but this is, for me, here's what I do on the show for me. There's a lot of people talking about the other big topics. If I can't bring something that's different, then I'm not even motivated to cover it. I don't. What am I going to bring different? Now, the other topic that's in the back of my mind is Susie Wiles being chosen as chief of staff, and then other personnel decisions. But in the aftermath of the Trump victory, this tweet from Nick got 50 million views. It's a big deal. But yeah, I hear what you're saying. Hopium Gardner, thank you for the $5 super chat. Appreciate you. But yeah, my motivation. And it's hurt me on the channel. It hurts you in the algorithm, so I got to figure out how to do that and navigate it. It's hard to monetize that, but what I do is I think I try to cover what I think needs to be talked about that's not being talked about enough. Now, obviously, Nick gets talked about a lot. I don't see him that much on YouTube, but he gets talked about a lot. But I don't see a lot of people who really know Nick outside of like on Cozy TV or, the people who are really in Groypers, basically. I don't see, and I'm Groyper adjacent. I don't see a lot of people covering it. So that's just what I see. And I think it needs to be covered. I'm tired of people misconstruing the take and misconstruing who he is. That's why I'm leading with this. So he's saying, well, of course I'm not. He's talking about women. So he's like, of course I'm not talking about my mom, women I care about. Well, he didn't even say that, but women with a certain mindset and respect themselves in a certain way.
Women actually deserve to be mocked.
That's the point of this thing. It's not obvious. Let me go back to that, Hopium. It's not obvious. It's obvious to you and I, but it is not obvious to everyone. I'm online and I'm seeing people react to it. I'm seeing people heated, and I don't blame them. I've seen stuff and I don't know the person, and I'm like, is this real or not? And I don't know. And I've seen that many times. There's great people. Then that's a big trick on X is to troll, but not to let people know it's an obvious troll. I mean, basically the forehead one kind of does that, but there's a lot of people, I can't remember their accounts right now, that aren't overt satire, but they kind of trick you. And that's what Nick's doing here. But Hopium says, an obvious joke. It is to you and I, but it's not to everybody. Because a lot of people, I'm working from the standpoint, I know Nick, I watch Nick, a lot of people are working from the standpoint of this is he's the face of, it's funny to say when you follow him because he's nowhere near that, but he's the face of the new whatever I can't even use the guy with the funny mustache anymore because I've been kind of just watching old speeches and stuff, and it's not even the demonization that I used to have for the funny mustache man. So, but that's, whatever they think of the funny mustache man, they pretty much put on him. So they're working from the standpoint that he's a monster, and they're not even working backwards. So of course it's not a joke to them.